welcome to Content Breaker. I'm Kelz, joined by Strangely Entertaining and Bad Wolf Zog. This episode, we're talking about Death Parade. Gentlemen,
Woohoo!
how are you spookily doing?
Well, I can remember my past, so thankfully I'm not dead.
Would y'all like to play a game? Maybe
I want to play a game.
do you want to play a game? Maybe a nice game of air hockey,
I don't
or
know whose games I'd find more horrifying, his or this show.
I don't know what's worse, being, serial murdered or like having to face your past. So, Death Parade is an anime coming out of 2015 from Studio Madhouse. I mean, Death Parade, the title really sells you on kind of what studio's doing, and it's with Studio. No, it's Madhouse.
it's Deke. That's what. Studio Deke. Good old Studio
David
Deke.
Productions.
I mean, you see how crazy David Productions can get.
Yeah, I've seen it, but you can't deny the style Madhouse always brings to their anime.
And it's also like they have a thematic element. Just as like, oh, we're doing weird, crazy, like occult, spooky death stuff. Okay, yeah, it's Madhouse to a T.
That's in our wheelhouse.
Right up our alley. Let's see what other can we reuse some assets? Oh, you still got last year's colors. Bring it over here. They'll work just fine.
But if there's anyone I trust to give me spooky, existential crisis bullshit, it's Madhouse.
Right.
So that's what we're dealing with in Death Parade. Death Parade, the whole premise is that we have humans who die. And they go to this location, which is presumably some kind of limbo for judgment. And of course, we're crossing, kind of belief boundaries with the terms heaven and hell and reincarnation and the void and whatever, man. It kind
all
of
exists, I guess.
It very much felt, because as my wife was studying religions class and having to help her with homework and everything, it's very much a mixed mash of a lot of beliefs. And I was like, all right, we got reincarnation, we just got you're sent to the void after you die, there's
Shadow Realm.
There's limbo, that kind of thing. It's all there. And I was like, what an interesting concept we have right here.
I kind of vibe with, because it's like, it's not a commentary on religion. It's like a way for death and judgment, no matter the belief, to be the kind of central plot point.
Yeah. If you're good enough, you'll skip past it, go straight to heaven. If you're bad enough, you're going straight to hell. Most people who are in between, play a game, figure out where you go. Or try again.
And I think I got I kind of misunderstood the whole point of how people get there, because at first I was like, okay, two people die at the same time, that's how we get here. But then I was like, okay, people just die and they have to get judged. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we start throwing one-offs as the plot gets, more intense, and it's like, is there any rhyme or reason to any of this? Is it just like, we have to judge people to further the plot? I don't know.
That is the point of their existence. You can't take it away from them.
And of course, we have bartenders judging, whether people go to, the reincarnation cycle or not. Which, fair play. If anyone knows, bartenders know.
I mean, if you're going to screw me that hard or not, you might as well give me a drink first.
And if I die and I wake up in a bar, I'll be like, well, dang.
That would be your luck.
I am not prepared for this at all. I don't even know where to start.
The only sober one on this show.
Just ask for the house special.
Just pour something, man. Like,
pour me
whatever.
something.
I'm already dead.
I'll get there.
Yeah,
You got a
what the fuck you
milkshake?
got to lose?
Like, you got a milkshake or Sprite or something I could drink? Like, I don't know nothing about these. On the rocks? What does that mean?
Literally on. We'll help you get to. Help you get to the judgment, my guy. When you've forgotten everything we've taught you, remember, on rocks means it's ice.
When you don't even know our faces.
All right. So that's kind of the setup. It's a show about judgment and death via variety games.
Woo!
Basically, any kind of game you could see at a bar. Darts, billiards, all kinds.
Even
Man.
Twister. I didn't think Twister is a bar game, but I was like, okay.
And it served the purpose for being very intimate and playful, kind of a party game.
It's definitely a party game, which, again, I wouldn't think. I mean, I can see it happening at a bar.
You weren't in the parties in 1960 when Twister came out.
I guess that can make sense as well.
True. Yeah.
But that's also why it was, for the other Arbiter.
Mm-hmm.
Because his whole thing was like, we're just gonna play a game. And he had a couple of individuals that were like very connected in life. But Arbiters, basically Grim Reapers making the judgment, live or die, or go on to reincarnation or never come back again. Just fall into obscurity and suffer the regrets of your existence. We also have the people that live or subsequently die, who have to play the game and get judged. And there are those two types of people. How do you feel about our characters? Of course, we have Deckham, who is our primary bartender that we get to see a lot and spend a lot of time with. Spoiler alerts, he is an arbiter who is just a judgment person, but he has feelings.
No, not allowed.
How dare they?
Full equilibrium in this bitch.
It's literally in the rules.
Yeah.
They cannot have feelings, for they are puppets.
Those
the rules.
When they read out the rules, it reminded me a lot of the laws of robotics or something like that. Very interesting.
Man's over here in iRobot.
Can't say no to people. Don't hurt the people. Oh,
Tell it to Will Smith. Yeah, I personally found that, okay, of course that's the whole point, is that Deckham, or however his name is pronounced, is he's supposed to be the kind of nebulous thing that learns about human interactions through experience, like the monster that grows emotions.
He's the android who's just like, what is this thing called feelings?
Yes. iRobot. Oh God, I hate it so much.
I hate that comparisons actually works.
But that's his whole vibe, and I think he does it relatively well.
His judgments were pretty fair. I mean, in the overall scheme, I felt
when he didn't rig it.
Yeah, when he didn't rig it. I mean,
well, that's kind of the big question. Is the game is not about win or lose. It's about creating the most extreme circumstance to draw the darkness out of people.
How far are they willing to go? The whole setup is just you're in a bar. You have no idea who you are or how you got here.
For a decade.
Random dude is just like, hey, you're going to play a game. You're not allowed to leave until it's over. you might die.
And they all try to leave. Every single one of them all try to leave at some point.
What are you gonna do? Play the death game on first sight? No, you're gonna try to leave.
Yeah.
I'd have to imagine that would get
all
irritating.
the info you get. You don't know if the winner gets to live, if both of you die. You don't know if you're stuck here until you win a game or what.
Just that you are going to play a game. You can't leave until you do, and your life depends on it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would take that well.
So let me how do you feel about the arc of this kind of experience? Death game, go through the game, see the darkness. At the end of the game, you realize that you're dead, and then this is a decision making on your judgment. How would y'all feel about that?
Uh,
The big reveal. You're dead. Everything you did just doesn't matter.
In the characters who's playing the games place, I think by the end of it, I would feel like life is nothing but a joke. And just be like, fuck it, who cares? But by the end of that, afterwards, you're either erased or your memories are wiped. So
it's like you didn't exist at all. Sorry, was that a bit too heavy?
well, that's the thing. This show is meant to make you think about some heavy shit.
And I like how very straightforward it is. It doesn't really challenge you with much, theology. It's just like death is real. And for me, there's no resurrection. People don't win their life. Everyone that we see is fucking dead. And that's the bottom line. They even play at that towards the end. Where, you could come back to life if. But even that is just another test to, cast judgment on which side of the line the soul goes on. Like, nobody comes back to life. The games are insignificant in terms of the decision. It is solely a tool to, gauge who they are.
Yeah. And they go through every facet you can think of with this, touching on, who's passing judgment, what right they have to pass that judgment on, and just frankly what the hell it means to exist. It is some heavy shit, but it's such an easy watch. This is easily something you could throw on first thing in the morning while you're getting ready to go to work, and walk out the door not realizing you just saw somebody throwing a dart into somebody else's heart and bawling their eyes out, just despairing over the lack of their own choices throughout their life.
Yes, definitely. The being faced with the unfairness of life is one of the major points of this show. That, no matter what you want, you may or may not be able to affect your circumstances. Things just kind of happen to you. And that's the case through so many of those characters.
Pretty much, yeah. Did you guys watch the OVA for this?
No, I haven't.
It's called
I didn't
Death
even
Billiards.
know
Okay. The story behind
okay.
the production for this was that there was a program in Japan. I think it was called the Early Animators Association. They essentially took people who were just coming out of school, just starting to get into the working world, and they would give them enough money to create their own episode of whatever series they want. They had full creative freedom on it. The creator of this, Death Parade, made a short he called Death Billiards, which was literally just the same plot as an episode of Death Parade, the game. It's just that the game they were playing was pool. It was billiards, and between a young man who looked like he was in his 20s or something, and a really old guy. Just like in the show, you got flashbacks to their life, but the flashbacks they show in the order they show them was just like, these two guys are average dudes. They're really nothing special. But the only like focused in on flashbacks were the one time the young man cheated on his girlfriend and the bullying the old man did as a kid. And they only focused on him like once, but those were the one they wanted those to be the things that stuck in your mind. Just so at the end of it, when one character is bawling his eyes out, complaining it's not fair, Mr. Arbiter, Deckham, can just stare at him with his cross-shaped pupil eyes and be like, life's not fair. Get over it.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you're just like, you know, these games that draw out, and that's kind of like what they touched on in the show as well. It's like, well, you're just kind of forcing the darkness out of their hearts, and humans, by nature, you know, we have like when we're put in a tough situation, we either react one way or the other. It's just, you know, fight or flight, you know, that kind of thing. And we'll take the crazy actress lady or whatever. Like, you know, she was fine to begin with. Yeah, the girl and the guy when they were playing the game and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, the celebrity lady.
Yeah, the
with
celebrity
kids who, yeah.
Like, she was turning her life around. She was getting better, but at the end of the day, in the wrong moment, she made the wrong choice to smash someone's head in on the screen.
Which was an allegory to, you know, not an allegory, but it was, you know, an example of her violence. After we find out how she actually died, slapping the personal assistant in the face and then getting choked the fuck to death.
But then that's the other thing, though. If she was trying to get better for her kids, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, she was trying to be better, but also she did slap someone. So it's just
which
it's like
in that specific story, it shows that person like gaining control over, like, personal agency over her life and doing everything it takes to keep a hold of that. The older kids aren't happy in any of the photos we see, and, you know, like, there's a whole thing where the reason she croaked is because she kept too much control and thought too highly of herself, slapped the PD, and then got choked the fuck out by some random person.
That was her. It was the
which
PD.
is, like, her entire arc is tragic. Like, it's all sad. There is no happiness in the same way with the dude she was going up against, where he's just like, I got a stepmom, and I'm, you know, why the fuck do I care about her? And she just wants, like, to be a part of my life, and why? And then, you know, realizes it too late.
Yeah.
It's
all just fucking sad, man. Thanks, Madhouse.
Yeah.
It's all very sad, very sobering shit.
It is very sobering, but you know what? I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit. It's just kind of on my mind. I didn't take the sad stuff away from it. Honestly, like, not that I would ever recommend someone who is depressed to watch this. I don't think they would get to episode 12 before.
Seems exactly up the vein of the folks that, like, I would have a conversation with that, like, are currently in their life position.
It's like, yeah, life sucks, really sucks sometimes, and you can't help it. You have no control of it. Even after you die, you have no control over your soul, your life, or anything. But there are people who still care about you at the end of the day. And I've had several instances of people in my life personally where they've dealt with depression, and it's really hard to remind them a lot of times because they are in a very selfish place. And I don't know. I just thought it was kind of beautiful. The overall message of this series.
And I think that's also why they have the black-haired chick. What's her name? Chiyuki?
Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why they introduced her as like that different perspective to work with Deckham. Because Deckham, the robot who don't understand feelings, he's looking at it as pure logic. But after the first game, where by the end of it, husband is on the ground bawling his eyes out, thinking he's the problem with everything. His wife tells him a quick story about how, like, she never loved him, yada yada yada. They never really reveal if that was a true story, if she was lying.
It was very up in the air. I was like,
How did y'all feel about that whole, okay, she's gonna say something where we find out that she does cheat one time but regrets it, and then gets judged in the negative compared to the two.
I also liked that. They didn't tell you where they went. You just had to look at the elevator door. And other times when it was like a 2-for-1 sale, it just zoomed in on one of the heads. I was like, okay, I see what y'all did there. It's like,
yeah. Very nice.
I
honestly thought she made that story up to make him feel better.
Right.
I thought
it's not as black and white.
I thought they were both gonna go to like reincarnation or whatever until I saw the door with
yeah,
it was crazy, and to find out that it was both true and that she regretted it and that it was like still his kid and she still got judged in the negative. I'm not saying cheating is right. I have seen the perils firsthand, personally, of what that's like. However, I'm not God. I'm not the judgment maker. I'm just an asshole that's never gonna forget. But I thought that was interesting, especially how that initial first episode ties into the relationship between Deckham and Chiyuki as they progress, and like her challenging his perception of judgment and like his role in it and what it really means and why humans do what they do.
Yeah. You can tell a lot about a person when you put pressure on them. I mean, what's the saying? You can find the true weight of somebody's character when they're put under pressure. But that don't mean you know all there is to know about them. Most of these people you can boil down to like stereotypes. Like the depressed kid, the loving wife, or shit like that. But that's just one dimension of them. Yeah, it's something many people can possibly relate to, even being or knowing someone like that in real life. But
yeah, I mean, though, if we did have to sit and kind of go through an entire spectrum of someone's true emotions about things, would we have time for a 24-minute episode?
no,
In a 12-episode season? Like,
fuck no.
Which,
episode 24, why is he sad?
in my opinion, they do a quality job in demonstrating certain facets of life and telling a compelling story about those kind of difficult, challenging topics. Like those who have suffered abuse with the episode of the arcade game, and those who have killed people. How should they be judged with the detective and the brother?
That was
like,
whew.
Like the whole point of this show was to like challenge you in your concept of how you feel about right or wrong,
like,
and how people should be judged further from that.
Yeah, like in their minds, it was right for them to murder, and they were kind of on the same page. It's like,
except not to become a vigilante, and I'm
you know,
projecting here, but
Eh, whatever your reasoning, you're still murdered.
yeah.
what kills me about that one was like, all right, I'm becoming a vigilante. I'm going to verify that they are, criminals, and then I'm going to kill them to exact revenge because my brain wife said you're doing a good job. And then the whole plot of that, like their situation was the brother went and killed the other guy, and while being murdered himself, he also killed the detective. Like,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I was like, how they gonna? Oh,
and then in the end, it's like, do it. You won't kill me because you don't have what it takes to become an Avenger. And then he does, and it's just like, no.
oh, even
Hey, what do you know? Nobody wins.
yeah, nobody wins. Everybody loses that one. Yeah. I kind of also like just talking about that.
Yeah.
Like the hierarchy of limbo and everything and how those systems work. I really enjoyed the world building with that. Is that one chick Death? Is that what her job was?
Her role is boss lady of death.
And it's kind of like they're all like versions of a Grim Reaper, except you got the supervisor just looking over all of them.
Yeah. I know the one lady sorts the names. Like she has like the blood droplets running from the ceiling. She sorts the names.
Oh, so there
Yeah.
is there's the information bureau who curates all the memories of the people who have died. There's those who curate who send out people die and they get distributed to the different arbiters. It's a whole interworking system.
And apparently there's towers, and I'm like, yo, this world might be huge. Just
Okay,
sorry. I'm gonna end myself. I'm
at
just
least
excited.
one of us is a gamer, right?
Yes.
That's you. Yes. All right. There is a game that is exactly this shit, except not Japanese. It's a game called Death and Taxes
I think I've heard of this actually.
from Placeholder Gameworks. And it's you. You are Deckham. You are a brand new, just created Grim Reaper. And it's your job to pass judgment on people. They live or they die.
Death and Taxes AC restaurants.
What? Punch a game in the search bar, guy.
No, I know, but this is a
um,
restaurant.
It's the same vibe, and you've got a boss man who is Death, and he's going through an existential crisis. And you get to go through the mundane desk work of having to judge people while also having a boss who's going through some crazy shit.
Oh my god.
If you play it, it's great. If you watch it, it's great. It is an interesting experience that is pretty much one for one with the concept of Death Parade.
That is hilarious, and I love it. I have to play this game. Oh my god.
Almost sounds like Papers, Please.
It is in the same vein. Different
Vein.
company, but
Yeah.
the same kind of vein. Very mundane, very much just a dude in a box
Yep. All right,
stamping
let you
stuff.
in. I'll let you in.
You go to heaven,
letting
you
you
go
in.
to hell. You go to
Not
heaven,
you.
you go to hell. I'm just imagining King Yama a la Dragon Ball Z just filling out the paperwork now.
Mahogany. You should look at my desk.
Holy shit.
No, but then again, it's just like, are you really the one to judge people as humans? Can you judge someone? I personally, well, okay, you can judge someone based on their character, but like without at the end of the day, their whole life, can you truly judge someone?
Yeah.
About like what they're going through and their
Yeah,
experiences.
I could judge you an asshole all day long. Can I say you're, fit to go to hell? That ain't my place, Chief. Like,
But yeah, they touch on it constantly that you're never gonna know everything about a person.
yeah.
But fuck, apparently the judgment's gotta be made. And someone's gotta make it.
All right. Speaking of judgments, the ending. we find, so there's this whole big thing. We've got like this super being that is Oculus, who is just kind of there. We have our boss lady, and then we have Deckham, who is our arbiter who has human emotions. And his whole plot is he's been going through the struggle of judging this girl who rolled into his bar and knew she was dead. And he's like, ain't nobody known they were dead. How do I deal with this? So his whole adventure is going on with how do you deal with, you know, this specific girl? How does he pass judgment on someone that is not fitting in the formula? And at the end of the show, that's the whole point. Last 3-ish episodes is Deckham going on an adventure to pass judgment on
and what's his face? Ginty. Ginty was also trying to judge someone else as well. He's like, Ginty. I don't know, man.
Let's talk about Ginty. Ginty is this like, I'm an arbiter. Fuck else you want from me? And he goes on his own experiment, right? So he's got this idol man and this like schoolgirl who is very much in love with this idol man. And they go through a death game and they get the answer. And based on how they both reacted, they get judged. Except one goes to hell, quote unquote, and the other doesn't leave the bar. Because I don't know exactly why. Further experimentation.
Yeah, there was no explanation. She's just still there. It's like he's like, leave, please.
Like, I don't know. With that one, I was like, is it because she's got the hots for him? Do you think she was letting him win?
I think that was also a thing where he's like, wait, she sacrificed herself basically for him. So
it was the mystery of human emotions that got Ginty to like, what are you doing? Why are you killing yourself for this asshole?
It's like, this is why Deckham's weird.
Yeah. I don't like it. Explain yourself. So he goes off and he's like, all right, here's another death game. You can sacrifice this dude on this monitor.
You can sacrifice this light Yagami looking motherfucker.
Exactly. I thought the same thing.
Oh, this is where he went.
Hey, Madhouse. They had it already.
Oh my god. It's overlapping. But no, yeah, exactly. You can sacrifice this light Yagami looking motherfucker that you don't know anything about. Here's just a picture of him. To bring back your homie's life. Or you could let him live and leave your idol to go on and live in the void forever. It's your choice. And of course, she makes the decision after a hard-fought challenge with her own brain that I'm going to bring back the idol. Fuck like Yagami, you know.
I don't know that guy. Fuck him.
And that's exactly kind of how that goes. She's kind of challenged, but she makes the call to bring back the one that she knows and cares about. And that's what gets her and him sent to hell.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
Which... Go ahead.
I don't know how to feel about that one. Because I look at it, I'm just like, she basically followed the same idea as like protecting your own. Taking care of your own. And she goes to hell for it. Fuck.
I think it's a good...
at least you're together now.
Yeah. Whether or not it's the right judgment decision, I think it's a nice setup for the whole plot point in the finale. where Chiyuki and Deckham go to the bottom floor, and it's like a recreation of Chiyuki's house, and she sees her mom, and she sees her mom sad.
I was bawling at that point. It was,
and Deckham's like, "Here's a button. You press the button, you kill somebody, you kill anybody. Who knows?
One
Who
random
knows who
person.
it'll be? Some random person." She's like, "Could it be my family or my friends?" He's like, "I don't know. Could
was
be,
like
but it's
over-
7 million people.
yeah.
Who knows what it could be?"
What are the odds of that happening?
Yeah. But you come back to life. She's like, "No, I'm not going to do it. My mom's sad, but she would be even sadder if I killed somebody who was feeling the same kind of sadness as she was." In a nutshell.
Pretty much.
But, like, that's the whole point. One person made the decision to kill somebody, and we see the results. The other made the hard decision, not to kill somebody, to come back to life, and we see the results. And I think that kind of fit.
Yeah.
Telling you, don't press the button. Presumably.
Maybe you shouldn't press the button.
That's a lot of pressure, though, and I think that was the whole point of, like, wow, you really could just kind of reset everything, and you wouldn't even remember that you killed somebody. You would just be back at home. But then I would think, I'm like, yo, this is a test, anyways.
Exactly what it was. There was no going back to life, which
Mhm.
is the thing I kind of enjoy. Like, I really like about the show is that even though that was the kind of carrot on the stick, there was no way that was happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they have the ability to do that.
I don't know, but we haven't seen it, and it was just a deeper, harder challenge.
Mhm.
In some ways, it's almost like the end goal is inevitable. It's gonna get there no matter what. It's just how you get there.
Yeah. In which case, Deckham went the hard way the entire time.
Yep. Oh, goddamn.
All right. We talked about the ending. How did y'all kind of feel about the show, its overall story, and the ending? How did you feel about the ending? Was it a quality ending? Did it wrap everything up enough?
Zog, go ahead.
I think this is the perfect ending we could have for a one-season show like this. I feel like everything got wrapped up relatively well, with just enough mystery behind, like, the big boss man and how the organization itself is run, that if they wanted to do a sequel, you can leave all these characters where they are and not worry about it and just tackle that shit. But this nice little contained story onto itself, it is what it is, and you can always go watch it again if you wanted to. The thing that shocked me the most about this show, though, is how easy it was to watch.
Mhm.
I never felt like I needed to see in the next episode. I never felt like, oh dear God, what the hell is happening? I need to pause this and step away for a bit, or anything like that. It was just, damn, that was an interesting episode. Oh, the next one's coming? Cool, let's go.
First off, so I know Static's going to get mad if we don't mention this. The intro is very misleading. As much of a banger, Gunpie, as much as like a banger and opener it is, I was like, wow, that was very misleading. I thought we were all going to be friends and we're going to be happy together and it's going to be great, awesome time.
Death is great and I am fun. Yeah, exactly.
Death
Let's get a
Parade.
jazz soundtrack to it. Let's go.
Get your hands up. It's just like, everyone you know and love will die someday, and they're gonna be judged and sent to the void probably. So good luck out there. Watch these people throw darts and stuff. I'm just like, what a weird transition that was.
Thanks,
I was like, whoo. But no, overall, actually, I was really looking forward to something like this kind of specifically. I think I mentioned in our last meeting I was looking for some kind of thriller anime. And it, as weird as it sounds, it kind of picked up my mood a little bit. Like,
you're welcome.
Yeah. Like, no, like I do enjoy thrillers. I like thinking about things, kind of having like a deeper perspective about, and a different perspective on things as well. And as someone who pretty much grew up in a funeral home and dealt with and lived around death a lot, it was very interesting to kind of see something like this.
You have a unique perspective we have not delved into yet.
Did y'all not know that? I could have sworn I told you.
I remember
know this.
I remember this in passing. How you gonna bring this up at 42 minutes into the episode?
I think I wanted to talk about it earlier, but
come October, we'll make good use of this.
Oh no. But yeah, I liked it overall. I would recommend it. I like the overall message of it. Intro's a banger. Also the ending as well. Pretty much watch the intro and outro every time. It's just like, every single time. And as Zog said, it was pretty easy to watch. And I was like, all right, I'll come back to the next episode. Until like the last 3 episodes, I'm like, all right, I'm strapped in. I'm ready to find out what happens. The ending was very well done, very good. I like it kind of not exactly a shut case, but just a little bit open of like, just a little bit of like, I would like to see continuation, like just for the world building aspect of it. Cause I just would want to see what everybody else is up to and whatever, probably never get it, but I'm actually fine where it left off. So it's pretty good in my book.
The whole show was good for me. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed this. This was kind of what I needed. This is a great example of a 12-episode anime. You have a story, you have a plot that's very that has hooks. It's very intriguing. I thought the ending was well enough. Mm-hmm. My whole ass was like, okay, kiss in the elevator before the doors close, and then you go off. And but that's my vibe. I was hoping that like maybe because they talked about whoever gets sent to the void, some of those become arbiters or something like that, or pieces of those souls, or there was something they said in passing in the show. I was like, will they be
Shimigami and use their death notes to invade the human world?
Sounds about right. Madhouse slowly building a spooky. What the fuck is it called?
Their own dark universe.
Yeah. Yeah. But I did have, like, nothing really creeps me out. I thought this was very stylized and spooky and cool and groovy until the very last scene. Go through the credits. We have Deckham introducing, welcoming 2 new contestant guests. And then he looks to his right.
Oh, yeah.
And there she is. A Chiyuki mannequin.
What?
Sitting behind the bar. And I'm like, oh God. Let her go.
He has a mannequin for everyone else who comes to his bar. I thought it was kind of sweet.
That is very much exactly what it is. But
yeah, it's still creepy.
Yeah. No,
you can't do the doll thing without it being creepy.
The only thing I winced at was the bowling ball episode. Like, oh yeah, heart, and the fingers went, and I'm like, ah, ah, I hate it. Not even the dart thing got me.
That was almost a saw trap.
And honestly, I'm like, look, if I die, I just hope I don't get darts. I don't want darts. I don't want air hockey, because your senses and stuff or whatever. What was the other one that people got hurt in? That
I don't remember.
Darts,
You
arrow.
kind of get hurt in all of them.
Yeah.
Except
there's
Old Maid. Like,
except
give me-
Old Maid.
Except for
Can I get Old
Maid?
Maid? No.
You're gonna get hide and seek, and they're gonna have to hunt you down.
The
with
video
weapons,
game one
crossbows, and all
didn't. The video game one didn't hurt anybody.
No.
Well,
It
I
didn't.
mean,
Other
not
than
not
her
directly,
And the dome.
not directly, but which I was like, that's very tame for a video game. I would have thought they would have been like killing each other pretty much.
It's not stay alive.
Did
Yeah.
we see all the games?
We didn't see any dice type stuff. I don't think they ever did anything like that.
But they're seven. I mean, he says there are 9 square, 3, 6, 9. There are 9 squares on the board. I don't think we saw 9 games.
I don't think we did.
I don't think either.
Which I'm jealous. I want to see, like, fuck the stories. Show me the games.
I want to see people play the
Death
game.
Parade Season 2. How do we keep it fresh and add new games?
Yeah, man, Bar Sports, the anime. Come on, fuck the death.
Let's
Like,
do it. I'd watch it.
have you seen like competitive darts?
I had no idea
I
darts.
have not.
I had
my
no
God.
idea darts like was so complicated. I was like,
Good.
you what?
And it's not a sport in the States, but holy shit, British TV broadcast dart games are incredibly exciting.
Oh, damn.
So imagine if it was for their soul.
It's like you could try to get all bullseyes, but then you don't get enough points for like
Exactly.
multiple. I was like, there's like a whole
Exactly.
like
It's
system
a
for this.
strategy to not die. I mean, to like prove your self-worth.
The real one is that inner ring right at the 20.
He knows.
I know that's how you score the most points.
All right, Death Parade, Studio Madhouse, doing their best and worst. Ooh. Once again, I am so glad Madhouse exists and it survived its Marvel anime experience from the 20-aughts. But, you know, this is, you know, they're still putting the work to it. Definitely worth your time, definitely worth the watch. It is challenging, it is spooky, it is difficult, but it is engaging. And it is like, yeah. Go watch it. Yes, that's the vote.
Just go watch it. Yeah.
You get as much in as you put into it.
Bingo. Not super gory, honestly. That's kind of the one thing. Definitely, Wu-Tang is for the kids on this one. But speaking of for the kids, that's not us. We are Content Breaker, and you can catch all your former podcasts on all your podcatchers. We're talking Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, at Content Breaker, or Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well. Content Breaker, gentlemen, y'all have stuff too.
You can find me strangely entertaining on the YouTube, on Twitch. I'm working on a new Twitch schedule, so I will let you guys know that when I get around to it.
When's it gonna be?
I don't know. That's
When
a
are
great
you gonna
question.
get it a schedule? Give me time.
Next week.
Next
give
week.
you-
All right,
next
next
week.
week.
Okay.
We go.
Next
We
week,
gonna
I'll give
get
you a new
a
schedule.
schedule. You can of course catch the bruh at all his content. Yeah, whatever, man. That at Grads with a Z because he's cool on Twitter and Instagram because he's cool with a Z. Whatever. Other product. Your typical Shonen protagonist. Talk about anime stuff just like this, except marginally less spooky until October. But we have a schedule of very intense thriller content for the rest of May. The rest of May.
Rest of May.
Yeah, you wanted one where you're gonna think? Steins Gate's gonna make you think.
Ooh.
God.
First season only or all of it?
It's
Yeah.
25 episodes. You're doing all of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's between this and
Okay,
ReZero
just
for the other
Steins Gate.
show.
Just Steins Gate, not Steins Gate 0.
There's a Steins Gate.
That-
We'll
that's
deal
what
with
I
this
mean, though.
afterwards.
There's so much.
Unconscious breaker.